Here's the story the second story that I promised I would say last Friday, Yom Shishi, and I didn't say it, so I'm saying it now. It's a story about Rabbi Bucket. It could be that I told the story before, but I don't remember. But now I'm going to try to remember, so I won't say it again. But anyway, it's worth hearing twice. Rabbi Bucket told me the story. The Rabbi Bucket from Chicago. He told me the story something like 5 years ago. We're in Hadich. It was Kaftal Tevis, which is going to be this week. Kaftal Tevis is the 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 birthday of the first Rebbe of Chabad. Kaftal Tevis, birthday. All right, of the first Rebbe of Chabad. So this day is no, I'm sorry, the day of the passing away. I'm sorry, the day of the passing away of the first Rebbe of Chabad. Okay, so the Alter Rebbe. So people go to Hadich, that's where he's buried, and so I was there also. And he told me the story. His father was a well-known rabbi in Crown Heights, and he used to go, he had a congregation. Anyway, he used to go every Friday and put to a hospital, I guess Brooklyn Jewish Hospital would, and put tefillin on one of the congregants that was there that had become very ill. So he would put tefillin on him. One day they went on Friday and they noticed that they were bringing in another Jew to put next to him. They put the Jew next to him. And when they finished with this congregant of his, so he asked the Jew that they just brought in if he was willing to put on tefillin. And the Jew started cursing him out and screaming at him and get away with that. And all the, it's just a bunch of superstition, and your rabbis, and they're a bunch of cheaters, and all the Jews are liars, and the rabbis are all crooks, and they're just screaming and yelling, and just. So he said, okay, I'm sorry. So this man that came in, his two daughters accompanied him, and the two daughters, when the rabbi was leaving, they went out with him outside and says, please don't be angry at my father, at our father, that he's a Holocaust survivor, and it really just sort of scrambled his mind. And he's a very bitter person. He's bitter about everything. And the Rabbi Bucket said, he didn't offend me at all. I don't want him to feel bad, so I'm not going to ask him. He says that, every Jew does. There's no, that he has to put on. If he wants to put on tefillin, he can put on tefillin. It's a very good thing. But if he doesn't want to, then okay, God should bless him. I'm sure he's going to have a high place in heaven anyway, especially been through the Holocaust. Oh, thank you, Rabbi. Thank you. Okay. So every week every Friday they would go and put tefillin on this guy. And when they would even look over at his next door neighbor, they would go, he would yell at them and get away from me. Anyway, one Friday they came in, and the daughters were standing at the door. It was a winter, so the days were very short. They were standing at the entrance, and they were like all red-eyed. And he said, well, did your father pass? Oh, is it okay? Everything okay? And they said, well, our father, he went into a deep coma. And the doctors say it's just a matter of, hours, maybe minutes, who knows. But we just wanted to thank you very much for being so nice to my father, not getting angry at him. So they said, nothing, I hope he gets better. Everything, we can never give up. It could be that the Jews got out of Egypt. God can do anything. Yes. Okay, so meanwhile, they put the tefillin on their, Rabbi Bucket put the tefillin on his congregant, and he looked over at this other fellow. He was like unconscious. So he said to them, is it okay if I put the tefillin on your father now? So they said, oh, well, we'll call the doctor. We don't have anything against it. And our father certainly doesn't have anything against it. He's unconscious. So let's call the doctor. So they called the doctor, and they asked the doctor, and the doctor said it certainly will not hurt, and you certainly can put tefillin on him. So they did. He put tefillin on his arm, put tefillin on his head, and as soon as they did that, he started saying something. So they listened. He was saying Shema Yisrael. So the daughters, of course, were crying and weeping and saying Shema Yisrael. And he was in a coma. He wasn't in a coma. Who knows what? Anyway, the tefillin somehow woke up something inside of him, and he said Shema Yisrael. You could hear him say it. So they took the tefillin off. They said goodbye to they ran home. They ran home. They got ready for Shabbat. They went to the mikveh and cleaned up. They went to Shabbat. And they started their meal, and the telephone started ringing in the house. Rabbi Buket. And of course, he didn't answer the telephone. It said Shabbat, the telephone. So every hour, 2 hours, the telephone rang again. So this went on for, until, a couple of hours, at least till nighttime. And then the daytime started ringing again. Every 2-3 hours, the telephone would ring again. So when Shabbat ended and he came home, the telephone rang and they lifted it up. Who is it? Yes, hello. These are the two daughters of the man that was right next. Oh, yes. Our father passed away just about an hour after you left. And we really are grateful to you that you cared about him and you put the filling on him. And we want to at least let you know and invite you to the funeral. I said, okay, well, maybe we can come. He said, yes, the funeral will be in the house of all religions or whatever it is on such and such a street. And the cremation will be, at the, 15 minutes, let's say the rabbi, the Reform rabbi is going to speak at 12 o'clock and the cremation is going to be at 12:15. You come. So the rabbi, Buket said, whoa, just one moment. In Judaism, your father was a Jew, right? So, you shouldn't cremate him. And the lady said, yes, I know. The Reform rabbi said we shouldn't call you up, that you would make trouble. But, the cremation is like 1/10 of the price of this. And, the 10th, 20th, who knows of the price. And we don't have to buy that way. We don't have to buy a big plot of land with a big thing. We put them in a jar. And so he said, well, when is this going to be? She said, it's going to be on on Monday. So he went to the Lubavitcher Rebbe's headquarters and he wrote a letter and he said that these ladies, they asked the lady, what was your father's name? What was his father's name? And they gave the name. They went into the Rebbe and they gave this letter in, told him this, in short, the whole story. And this fellow's name is such and such, and they want to cremate him. Can the Rebbe give some sort of a blessing that these people will listen to reason? So they got an answer back from the Rebbe like minutes later, and the answer said, "This man is a direct descendant of Rabbi Levi Yitzchak of Berdichev." Rabbi Levi Yitzchak Berdichev was an amazingly holy person that lived in the same time. He was a good friends with the first Rebbe of Chabad, with the Alter Rebbe, a holy, well-known person, Rabbi Levi Yitzchak Berdichev, and he's a direct descendant of Rabbi Levi Yitzchak Berdichev. Tell them that I'll pay for all of the expenses, for the coffin and the burial and the plot and the tombstone. And any money that they lost, I'll pay the whole thing. But you want, after the rabbi makes this Reform rabbi makes his speech, that you'll take him out. There'll be an ambulance waiting there. They'll take him out, put him in a coffin, and tell him. So they go to this Rabbi Buket calls the daughters up and says, "Can we come over?" Yes, of course. Said, "Listen, we called your father. Did he ever mention anything about him being Jewish? I mean, are you sure that he was Jewish?" He said, "Oh, yes. He used to tell us that he was a direct descendant of this rabbi, some big rabbi of Levi Yitzchak or something." So they said, "Oh, so he's a very holy person, and we will take on ourselves all the expenses. You don't have to pay anything. We'll pay, we'll refund your money that you paid for the cremation, and now you'll have a plot of land where you can go and you can visit your father whenever you want to. You can." So they agreed, and that's what happened. They brought an ambulance or a hearse, whatever it is, outside of the place. As soon as he finished saying, the ashes to ashes, dust to dust, whatever, they whisked in, and they put him on a stretcher, to the body, and they took him out. And nobody, and the daughter said, "It's okay. This is what we decided, and everyone can come after." They put him in a hearse, and they went to the cemetery, and they buried him, and they put it this. But you see the amazing thing of it. First of all, the importance of a Jew having a proper Jewish burial, and how the Rebbe somehow or other knew that this person, just by hearing his name, and knew that this person was a direct descendant of Rabbi Levi Yitzchak Berdichev. So we see the connection that the Lubavitcher Rebbe has with every Jewish soul, no matter what, and the importance that every Jew should act like a Jew even after they're not alive anymore. And that is a story which shows how all the Jewish people are really one, and that there's a leader of the Jewish people, the head, that feels every single Jewish soul. Because the Rebbe said many times that the soul never dies. It just goes into different bodies, different states. It's in this world, it's in the other world. And here is a story which seems to indicate very clearly that fact. Have a good day with Mashiach now.